How does the Peaky Blinders saga end? Who lives, who dies, and who gets their revenge? And what is the secret that Sir Oswald Mosley has been hiding from Tommy Shelby? In this video, we'll give you a detailed breakdown of Peaky Blinders Season 6, the last chapter of the Shelby family story. Stay tuned. In the immediate aftermath of the failed assassination attempt, the IRA calls up Thomas and informs him that he will rely on them and Oswald Mosley for a little longer. They also dump off the bodies of individuals who lost their lives due to the attempt. It just so happens that Aunt Polly is one of them. Michael swears to kill Thomas once and for all because it was his ambition that caused her death, and the Shelby family puts her to rest. Before we see the Shelby family once more, 4 years go by. It's 1933, and the end of Prohibition means that everybody who made a living by bootlegging is out of work. Tommy travels to Miquelon Island to make a deal with Michael and his new connections in the Boston Mafia, which is led by his wife's uncle, Jack Nelson. He offers to sell them opium and gives them a small sample to confirm the quality. He also notifies a contact at the Boston harbor that Michael would be transporting opium and is successful in putting him to jail upon his return. Back in Birmingham, Arthur has succumbed to his addiction and is struggling to make ends meet, leaving Ada to keep things together while Tommy's out of town. Gina pays a visit to Michael in jail and tells him that her uncle is working on his release, but that he would have to hang tight for the time being. They talk about Thomas Shelby's genuine intentions for establishing business in Boston. Tommy then pays a visit to Gina at her house to insist that a deal must happen, or else he would move his business elsewhere, maybe to the juice of East Boston. Lizzie contacts Tommy and tells him that their daughter has a fever and cannot travel as scheduled. Tommy is alarmed when she mentions her symptoms and tells her that he will be coming home the next steamer. Tommy meets Michael in prison and tells him that he's stuck in prison until Jack Nelson completes his business in London, and he has letters and paperwork to prove it. Michael is enraged by this revelation. Tommy gets a home check and Ruby is examined by the doctors once more. Lizzie laments that Tommy isn't present and that he has to get away from the gangster life and spend time with his family. Tommy says he's got one more plan to take care of before he's done. He meets with IRA member Laura McKee and tells her that Jack Nelson is visiting the UK and seems to be a fascist sympathizer who would most likely support their cause. He's going to introduce her to Jack and Mosley so they can change the world together. As part of his grand plan to escape for good, he presents the same concept to Mosley and his mistress, Lady Diana Mitford. Meanwhile, Ruby becomes sick once more, forcing Tommy to seek out his Esme because he feels his daughter is the victim of a gypsy curse. The doctors confirm Ruby's consumption, but Tommy continues to search for Esme while Lizzie sits at her daughter's side. While Tommy is away, Ada takes control and strives to restore order to the business. Arthur is still struggling, but a serious talk with a gentleman while on the job provides him with a required reality check. Tommy finds Esme, who leads him to the curse, but by the time he gets back to the hospital, Ruby has already passed away, and Lizzie is heartbroken since Ruby's father was not by her side. Tommy finds and murders the gypsy he believes is to blame for the curse after laying his daughter to rest. He then has the opportunity to work on his master plan and hosts Jack Nelson, Laura McKee, Oswald Mosley, and Diana Mitford at his home to discuss their next actions. While they plan to pursue the fascists' dream in Europe, Thomas wants to grow his business into Boston and guarantee his family's financial future. Tommy receives an urgent letter from his daughter, so he meets with him the next day. The doctor tells him that his daughter's illness is transferred to him in the form of tuberculoma and that he may only have a year to live. Tommy sets about organizing his affairs, bringing his illegitimate son Duke into the fold and reaching out to Linda for assistance in getting Arthur clean. Jack Nelson meets with Billy, who works as an informant for the Shelby family. He tells him to supply information that'll assist them in finishing the Shelbys once and for all. Tommy has plans to develop housing for the working class and has been acquiring land around England to make this happen. Once he takes care of Jack Nelson, he makes a deal with Alfie in exchange for obtaining control back in Boston. Tommy is ready to go to Canada to pick up his payment for the opium that was shipped to Boston. Lizzie discovers that he slept with Diana and is furious to learn about it. Michael is finally released from prison and he plans to kill Thomas Shelby and get his revenge. The ending left many viewers confused and unsatisfied. Why did it happen that way? What were the clues and hints along the way? We'll show you in this detailed breakdown. Lizzie decides to leave Tommy since he has been so distant from her, and now that he has slept with Diana, she has had enough. He lets Charlie go and tells her that he will set them up somewhere wonderful so they can live in peace. Arthur has his medical reports waiting for him at his workplace. He's discovered Tommy's tumor and wants to know why he didn't inform anybody. Tommy says he doesn't want those close to him to see him in a helpless situation when the time comes. At the House of Commons, Tommy meets with Diana and Oswald. He tells Diana about his housing plans and how he wants to purchase off property from her connections who are struggling with debt. Oswald invites him to their wedding in Germany, but he claims he won't be able to go since he'll be in Canada collecting his payment. Tommy meets with Arthur, Finn, Billy, Isaiah, and others to discuss his trip to Canada. He requests that they go back to his house and remove everything of value before it's demolished. Arthur said he'll be spending his anniversary with his wife at the garrison. Billy transmits this information to Gina, who then relays it to Michael. The plan to eliminate important members of the Shelby family has been verified. Isaiah and Duke are waiting for Billy and Finn when they arrive at the mansion. They kill Billy after revealing that they know he's the mole. They inform Finn that he has been expelled from the family, and he responds by striking back and threatening to come after them. Laura and 2 others arrive at the garrison with the intention of killing Arthur, but he has been waiting for him. They defeat their assailants in collaboration with Charlie and Jeremiah. Tommy is meant to meet Michael for the exchange on Miquelon Island, but Michael and his friends have a bomb hidden in Tommy's car. When Michael comes, he puts him in the car and drives away, but the wrong car explodes up. Tommy shoots Michael for his betrayal as Johnny Dog shows up and reveals he shifted the device to the other car. No one dares to cross the Peaky Blinders. Tommy gives his mansion one final glance before blowing it up. He has a supper set up nearby with his friends and family. He tells them goodbye and provides them with advice. Arthur declines from joining and tells Linda that he doesn't do farewells, but that he'll see Tommy soon wherever he goes. Ada is dubious about Tommy's tone of voice and probes him more. She's curious as to where he's going and for how long, but he doesn't respond. Tommy is in the mountains a month later with his carriage and horse ready to shoot him in the head. He's later visited by his daughter, who tells him that he's not sick and should live. She points to the fireplace, and following close examination, Tommy discovers a newspaper clipping reporting on Mosley and Diana's wedding. When he spots his doctor among the participants, a light turns on his head. He pays a visit to the doctor because his office was on the other side of the mountain. He tells him that he discovered barely in time that his doctor was working for the other side, and that his opponents determined that the only person who could kill Thomas Shelby was Thomas Shelby himself. After letting the doctor live, he returns to his charred carriage. With some extra time on his hands, he decides to deal with the fascists who attempted to eliminate him and the Peaky Blinders. And that's it for a recap of Peaky Blinders Season 6, the final season of the epic gangster saga. What did you think of the series finale? Did Tommy Shelby get what he deserved, or did he manage to outsmart his enemies one last time? Let's know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.